thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new BBTS shared exclusive Transformers Year of the Horse of the Supreme Class Starscream. Part of the Thrilling 30, when you come around here to the back of this gigantic box, you see that he is number 13. Well, maybe you can't see it. Number 13 out of 30. And you can see the back here has a nice image of the actual toy itself. Now, a lot of people are familiar with this because it utilizes the large Supreme Class Cybertron version of Starscream. But what's different about this is it gives it a more G1 color scheme. The original one, to me, almost had like a Skyfire or Jetfire, whatever you call them, but to me, Skyfire. He had a Skyfire kind of color scheme. But as you can see, it does include the crown, a couple of his cyber keys or whatever they're called. I never got into Cybertron or anything, and this is actually the first time that I've actually owned this mold. So I'm really excited about it. I mean, this thing is ridiculously massive. I mean, you can see how big the box really is. It's a huge box. You got the Year of the Horse Supreme Starscream. On the opposite side here, you have a little bit of a read-up on them, that if you do want to read it, you can pause this video and go ahead and read it right now. Again, you have the Year of the Horse logo intertwined with the Decepticon logo, which looks really very cool. You come around here to the front, and you got the nice Velcro opening that when you do it, there you have the figure. And yeah, this thing is ridiculously huge. I honestly had no idea how big he was. The funny thing is it really reminds me of what it would be like if Starscream had a dream and dreamt of himself as a building size Transformer that would walk around Godzilla style and just destroy an entire city. That's almost what this reminds me of. And then on the opposite side, you have his technical data and another image of the Supreme Starscream. So really very nice. I mean, like I said, it's a huge box. Since I did it for the Optimus Prime, here's the here's the Hot Toys Superman box, and you can see just how much. Well, I don't even know if you can because it's so massive. Here, let me just set this here, and I hate doing this, but here I'm gonna move my camera away, but you can see just how big this box is, and just holding it here, it's a huge box by comparison. So that all being said, I'm really excited to check this guy out for the first time. As I said, I've never had this, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's get it open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Year of the Horse Supreme Class Starscream opened up and out of its packaging. And I'm absolutely loving this figure. Now, as I mentioned before, I never had him, so I don't know how he was received back in the day when it actually came out. But this guy is fun. I mean, my first time playing with him, I just haven't been able to stop playing with him. He's massive, which is something we're really not used to getting. I mean, the biggest Transformer that we've gotten officially in recent years has been Metroplex, and that's bigger than this guy. But this guy is just gigantic still. Now, doing a little bit of reading, there was a Voyager release of this some time ago, but the Supreme offered, you know, the lights and sounds and things like that, and obviously a much bigger size. And it's funny that in the intro, I talked about how, like, this was as if Starscream would dream that he was a big, giant monster that would go throughout a city and destroy it. Well, I actually watched one of the scenes. I don't know if it's the actual unveiling of him in this massive form, but he comes out of a volcano, and he like fills the volcano. Apparently he gets to this size by using the Omega Lock, which I actually do have because I do have the I think it was the Cybertron Primus figure, the one that transforms in the big ball of, well, Cybertron. So using the Omega Lock apparently is what makes Starscream this big. And then he goes tromping and stomping and just is really funny. And as I mentioned, the original one doesn't have this color scheme. This is the G1 color scheme in terms of the more gray, the red and the blue. And the red and blue is actually really nice. It's a very metallic red. A little bit of the blue here is metallic as well, but this thing is just super huge. I mean, for a comparison, I don't know why I'm going to do a comparison. You guys probably know about this figure more than I do, seeing how I'm just experiencing it for the first time. But here he is, and here's Starscream, the classic version of Starscream. he's about the size of the Supreme Starscream's wing. That's about it for your just size comparison. I mean, I'd say roughly he's, I mean, in terms of a length or wingspan, I guess he's around 12 inches. I mean, he's absolutely massive. I like that they got the Year of the Horse logo right here on the front. That's a really nice touch. Now, that's just printed on there, so they could change that. The Decepticon logos here are all actually molded in, so you couldn't do anything with that. I don't think he has any other Decepticon logos, at least in this mode, but this guy is just awesome. I really love him. Now, he doesn't come with batteries, but it does still have the lights and sounds. You just have to put the batteries in, and then the battery compartment is right underneath here. It takes 2 AAA batteries. That once you get it in, you get all those sounds. Now, he does have these little positioning cannons here on the sides. I wish that the cockpit would open. No, I don't think it actually does. And the only real lights that you get are these little thruster doodads here. You can take this off. This is his crown, but it has his head right there, which it's kind of ugly looking. But I guess leaving this on, I mean, that's kind of weird looking, I guess, there, but I'm sure people are used to it. I just think it kind of looks weird. But the lights and sounds are activated by pushing this button right here, and when you do so, like I said, these bits light up, so you get a couple different sounds. So that, I don't know, that kind of sounds like a sword deploying. Then you have this. Oh, the sound deploying again. Sounds like a thruster. That transformation sound. I mean, it doesn't seem like it actually goes in order. It just seems kind of random. But the guy is just so cool. Now, you come around here to the back. He does come with 2 cyber keys, or whatever they're called. One, I think, is called the Decepticon cyber key, and then the other one is the Earth cyber key. As I said, I never really watched Cybertron or Armada or Unicron or anything like that. I don't like the animation on it. It really turns me off. And the story just seems a little bit goofy. But you do get these. Now, there's no back on them. I thought they came with backs, actually. But you can see that it's just a translucent yellow plastic. From what I read, though, he is the only one to come with 2. So that's kind of cool. And then you got storage for him right here on the back, which I actually kind of dig. It almost gives that a little thruster, like a fire look. So that's kind of neat. And then you got all the molded bits right here. I mean, this is actually a really nice figure. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna like it because it came from a series I didn't care too much about, but I dig the guy. And in terms of those franchises, there are a few figures that I do have. Like I said, I do have Primus, I do have Unicron, I have Vector Prime, and I have the Botcon repaint of them into Alpha Trion. So there are some figures that I do like out of them. Just, I don't know enough about them to know which other ones are good. But this one really does impress me. Now, despite this figure's size, the transformation for it is actually very simple to do. And honestly, gives me a lot of hope for Hasbro doing the simplified Transformers. Seeing what they were able to do many years ago with that simple transformation, and still managing to produce really nice figures, does give me some optimism, I suppose. First, what I'm going to do, you come around here to the side, just take these, angle these back, just like so. That's going to create some clearance here for the legs. And then wiggle these, separate that a little bit. This is a bit of a rubber piece right here, so it spreads apart fairly easily. And then you come around here to the bottom and just kind of pull them apart and lift, because there's a little section here that this little bit right underneath here tabs inside that little section. So you do that, kind of rotate it just to get it out of the way, and then angle it down like so. I mean, you can hear some really thick ratchet joints on here too. So we're going to straighten out the legs, take this little section, tuck this up and under, take this, rotate this down, fold this heel bit out, do that on this side as well, fold that out, and then take the front section and tuck that underneath just like that. And there you have his legs done. It's basically one step. Now, granted, you do it on both sides, but it's pretty much the same. So one, and then tucking that under, I guess we could call that a step. So that's 2 steps. And come around to this top section, bring this down, boom, there's like 3 steps. And you can see in doing so, it reveals his head. Straighten these back out. I'm not even going to consider that a step. Rotate these around. Click this into place right up there. Do that on this side as well. Locking that in. If you lift it up, it makes the sounds go off again. So in terms of steps, 4. Okay, I'll call this just, well, repositioning. So that's not really a step. And then you come around here to this. You split this. And then you bring this down. So that's like 5 steps to transform this. So we almost forget that Transformers being simple have existed before. So it really isn't all that bad. I think over time we've gotten very spoiled with much more complicated figures. But this definitely shows that simple figures can exist with good alt modes, robot modes, and not necessarily have to have a lot of different steps for it. I guess if you want to, you can take these and fold these back and create another step. But here you have Starscream in his robot mode, and he's huge. I mean, for a comparison, here's classic Starscream. It's just massive. And I really do like the guy. Now, the color really does make it look a whole lot better, I think. Especially for me, who's a Starscream fan from the original G1 kind of days. This just looks terrific. He does still have the lights and sounds, but now you push this button up here, and you can cycle through them all and everything. Or you can take the arms, and once you get him here, one more click up will also activate them, which is kind of annoying because you can't really play with them, I guess, without having that go off. And you know, they're random sounds, so it's not like it. I mean, there's a transformation sound, so it's kind of goofy. And then the one thing that is a little bit different that I wish that was done differently was his crown here. The original one has more like red bits on here that really nicely resemble the G1 looking crown. This one doesn't as much. But zooming in so that you can see that, I mean, it's got some really nice molded detail in there. I mean, it's got a big blue section in the middle. But like I said, these bits here were painted red on the original one, giving that a jewel look in the original one. I think that would have looked better with this. Mostly because, as I said, it would have resembled that G1 crown a little bit more. But this is still a nice piece to have, and I like it. He does have those little key things, just bringing one out to show you that once you bring this up, he does have a couple different gimmicks. On the side here, you can take this, push it in here, and not have anything happen. Did I push it in all the way? Oh, there we go. It extends this yellow, very rubbery sword, which is nice, and then you can put that in, or take that out, tuck that back in, rotate that down. One thing that does suck is whenever you rotate his arms, this has a tendency to pop out. That kind of sucks. But again, I'm sure a lot of you people already know about that. The problem is basically the same. So taking this, plugging this in here, and you have this weird cannon thing that pops out, and it's not bad, but it's kind of weird looking. And then you take this, and it like makes these little prongs spread out, and you can shoot the missile. So pew, just like that. So those are his gimmicks, I suppose you could say. Then taking this out, tucking this back up. I just like hiding those. It doesn't really do anything for me. One thing that I will say though is the very nice metallic paint seems to be flaking off here on the thighs. That's very unfortunate. Zooming in so that you can see that. I mean, you can see where the paint scuff is right up on in here, kind of. Sort of. You can see it on that side and then right there in the front. That really does kind of bug me that's happening from the transformation of him. And then when you bring it around it just rubs on the inside. So that paint's kind of flaking off, and it is very unfortunate because it's a very pretty paint, but definitely keep your eyes on that. He does still have these little cannons that can come up like so, and you can have them shooting there if you wanted to. Not real that posable of a figure. He's kind of just a big, massive thing, but he does have some articulation. The head rotates left and right, so you do have that. The shoulders will rotate 360 degrees, but you're going to get those annoying sounds. If you bring it up, you can't really do it when it's down, but if you bring it up one ratchet joint, you can angle it outward. You also do have elbow joints right up here, although it's a little bit lower than the elbow. I would say that's the elbow, but you don't want to use that as an articulation point. Getting this out of the way. They move forward and back at the hip. They move in and out. They rotate, and then his feet also have some pivot. So there is a fair amount of articulation, and these joints are really secure, so you can get fairly wide poses with them and create a kind of cool look with them like this. You're just not going to get a lot of massively dynamic poses, but as I said, this is a representation of Starscream like the size of a mountain, so you don't really need a lot of posability because he's just going to tromp and stomp over everything and crush everything under his feet. But really a nice looking figure. Now, for his transformation back, it is, again, the exact same. It is very simple, but it's not bad and it's fun to do. First, you just kind of straighten these out, getting these wings out, and you can leave those out if you want to. It's personal preference. Just makes me feel like I'm transforming him more if I fold them out, I guess. Straighten out his head, bring these up like so, then detach the top section here, bring those all the way down and around, and actually bring these up. I should have brought these up first, like so, and then you can just peg these together, and these are a softer kind of rubber as well, but they're still pretty nice. So bring this up and around, straighten this, that locks into place. Do that on this side as well, detach that, lock that into place like so. Take this entire section, fold this up just like that, come down here to the legs. You do want to keep these angled in, like I said, it creates clearance for you, and then bring these up. Well, actually rotate these, fold out the actual nose cone bit right there, and then take this heel section and fold that in. Do that on this side as well. Going to fold this bit out, fold this in, rotate those outward, and angle these all the way down, and then just take this, fold this up, and like I said, this is where I'm seeing some rubbing here with the actual paint. So those little bits right there that rubbed off, they're rubbing off because when you bring it under, it's kind of hard to lock it up in there without it rubbing on stuff, and you can see where it's really very unfortunate because that paint or chrome paint or whatever is really nice, just not all that great on here. So tucking that up and under, do that on this side as well. Kind of angle this, I guess, maybe minimize some of that rubbing, but it's always going to rub on there. I don't know how you're going to avoid it, honestly. Bring this down, bring these two halves, push those together, push this all the way in, bring that like that. Fold these down. You can leave his head exposed, or you could take the crown and you can put it on his, well, put it on the right way. Put it on there, just kind of covers it up. And here you have Starscream back in his jet mode. And I don't know how well that you can see this, but because it's a white board, this is the paint that you can see coming off from the figure. And that's really very unfortunate. It's a definite negative on this particular figure. That being said, I still like him and really think that he is a great figure to have. The coloring on here just makes it look so much better, I think, in my opinion. It appeals to me a whole lot more. And I mean, I guess who doesn't like having a gigantic Starscream to have displayed in your collection? As I mentioned before, this is a Big Bad Toy Store shared exclusive, so this will be available at BBTS as well as Toys R Us. So if you are interested in getting them, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Big Bad Toy Store, where I do unfortunately think that this is sold out, but keep your eyes open because it might come back in stock. And with Hasbro's track record of not doing a very good job of stocking certain things such as the MP10 figure, it might be tough to find them in stores. So if you do find them, I absolutely recommend picking them up. if you're a fan of this mold, this just looks even better, I think. And for me, who's never had it, it's an absolute wonderful way to get and appreciate the toy. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus. And follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/optibotimus. Also, don't forget to check out my new website at optibotimusreviews.com. And if you like this review, don't forget to please rate, subscribe, and share this video. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.